I'm Bob Coleman, and we're talking Main Street and the small business lenders who help it grow. Thank you to this week's sponsor, America West. Early bird deadline is Friday, March 1st. Rancho Mirage, first week in June. Great event. Buy-in from the national office out of Washington, D.C. Strongly encourage for you and your team to attend if you're in the Western United States. As you know by now, I love stats. We love to do polls. We do snap polls. We did one this week asking about Linda McMahon's approval rating. Amazing numbers.
Last week, I want to do an update of our approval rating of our administrator.
Bob, it'll be interesting to see how this moves around. Did the shutdown affect her approval rating? Did the response after it impact it? It'll be interesting to see.
Interesting, yeah. What do we got, guys? 57%. Okay, but 57, 1, 42. That's down from before, Lance. I think we were about 90% before.
Absolutely. Well, and the thing that you'll know, Bob, is we had only one who didn't approve. So generally pretty positive feelings toward the administrator. I do think SBA handled the after shutdown issues pretty well. They claim they're caught up. I don't think completely, but I think they handled it very well.
I did a webinar with Lance Sexton on using the SBA lending program to finance assisted living facilities as well as nursing homes for both 7A and 504. Listen to the top 5 reasons Lance and I are bullish in this NAICS code product.
Hey, we're recapping it. Give me your questions, whatever you have. And I said we have excellent loan performance. We're going to have more increased government spending in this market. So therefore, the demand will be there. Revenues are not dependent on economic cycles. We talked about the green loophole. We talked about the need for long-term care. And I forgot to mention this first time around, Lance, bonus. Amazon cannot touch this industry, at least yet.
Well, probably the one that hit me hardest here in a good way. Great performance, minimal charge-offs. Guys, you ought to be doing this. Secondly, it's almost recession-proof, Bob.
Jason Malizan stopped by talking about his specialty consulting product, which is getting borrowers, lenders, and SBA to accept an offer in compromise.
Jason, give a case study. Don't name names, of course, but give us a case study of how one of these offer in compromises was resolved.
Sure. Most of the cases are pretty similar. I see a lot of restaurants. Somebody, they buy into a franchise. The franchise is going well. A lot of banks get on board with one particular franchise because if one works well, they want to do more. And then all of a sudden, something happens. We had a lot in 2009, 2010 where these, particular franchises were going down. And so what would happen is they would call me and they'd say, look, I had a deferment, I had a modification. It's still, the only way this business would survive if I didn't have this debt at all. And of course I tell them, well, that's not an option. Nobody's going to allow you to just keep your business and forgive the debt. So, the SBA does have this process whereby they will settle the debt. But the first thing needs to happen is your business needs to be closed. You can sell it or you can liquidate the assets, whatever, affects the best recovery is what you should do. And then at the end of it, when the dust settles, if you truly don't have the ability to pay, we will basically reapply for the loan all over again, except this time we're proving to them you can't pay. So there's a personal financial statement, there's tax returns, there's bank statements. And so, so to give a specific example, I had a guy, he owed $1 million. He worked in the business, so that was his salary. He had put everything he had into it. And so we submit the financial statement, and we offered, I think it was $50,000, right around there. And, the SBA, to their credit, took it. And a lot of lenders, I've heard pushback over the years, well, as a percentage of the total, we don't like that. But in this particular case, they said, well, $50,000 relative to the loan amount, yeah, maybe not a ton, but $50,000 is still better than nothing in terms of recovery. When you have a guy who's unemployed, he has no assets, and he's borrowing the money from friends and family, it's, clearly the best decision here. And so, that's a typical example of clients that I have where the vast majority of them, they're not trying to get away with something. They're not saying, hey, I don't owe this money or I got screwed. They're saying, I don't have the money to pay you, but I'm willing to pay what I can.
In our industry profile section, Thomas Gazaway, Lencred. Listen to the conversation.
I'm with Tom Gazaway, president of Lencred. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Make sure. Now you got me doubting what I have to say. Tom, it's good to see you. Why are you here at the National Alliance of Commercial Loan Brokers?
So we've been coming every year, Bob. This is where most of the loan brokers from around the country kind of gather together, learn about what's going on in the industry, kind of network with each other, share some business back and forth. It's a great event.
What's your credit box? What type of deals are you looking for?
So Lencred's sweet spot is we work with a lot of brokers and bankers, especially sweet spot where somebody's looking for between $25,000 and a couple $100,000 within the next 6 months to 2 years, and they're not quite credit worthy or ready for that SBA loan.
Now, how does this work logistically? Is this cash advance? Is it credit card? Or
So we have algorithms that source unsecured lenders such as business credit card lenders and things like that puts together a working capital plan for the guys and gals out there who aren't quite ready for that SBA loan. Their SBSS score is just not there yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Nationwide?
Nationwide in all 50 states.
Any particular industry that you specialize with?
Well, we don't have an industry that we don't work with, so probably pretty industry agnostic.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we're looking for people with some income and some good credit.
And you're out of Arkansas?
Yes, we're based out of Arkansas. Yeah.
Tom, as always, thanks for the conversation.
Thanks.
Hey, be sure and send us your borrower videos. I would love to put them in the Coleman Report update. We're running low on our inventory, so we'd love to hear success stories in video format. Thank you for joining us today for the Coleman Report update and for supporting America's Main Street, one entrepreneur at a time.